Sa DOH, wala hong kurakot.
Ako, mahirap sagutin yan.
Same contractors for DPWH.
Yung nilist ng top
nasa
15,
DOH
meron ding mga ginagawang health center.
din.
Yes.
Oh.
At meron kang isa sa Mindanao na bayaran na, hindi tapos.
Anong contractor po ito? Yung mga Diskaya, meron din po.
St. Gerard. Oh, yun,
St.
Diskaya,
Gerard.
St. Gerard.
Sunwest, Zaldico.
Meron.
So, Secretary Erbosa, kung ang Pilipinas po o ang Philippine Public Health Sector ay isang pasyente, nasaan po kaya siya? Nasa ward, nasa OR, o nasa ICU? Anong prognosis niyo po?
Hindi. Wala na siya sa ward. Discharged na siya. Primary health care na ang kailangan ko. I need help.
How do you address critics po? Like Dr. Liatchon?
Well, for the critics, do not disturb the person who's trying to solve the problem. I'm trying to solve the problem. If you have a suggestion that's good, I will follow it. But if you're just going to criticize me without a solution, sorry, I'm busy. I'm trying to solve the healthcare system of this country. Sipin mo yun, Jessica. Every 3 years, nagpapalit tayo ng mayor. Kami, nag-i-invest kami, tinetrain namin yung barangay health worker, yung nurse, yung doktor, yung MHO. O tapos, after 3 years, makikita namin bagong doktor, bagong nurse, bagong barangay health worker. Kasi, pinalitan na ng mayor, final niya na yung mga data. And that's why, politically, ito yung isang observation ko, Jessica, and I hope hindi ako ma-misconstrue. I'm not for dynasties, but the truth is, the dynasties, the political dynasties, the ones where the family names are the same, they're the ones with the very good healthcare systems in this country. Because the father will build the hospital, the mother will equip it, the son will hire the doctors, and then hindi na sila matalo-talo. That's family name state.
Secretary Erbosa, maraming salamat po sa interview na ito.
Thank you, Jessica, at maraming salamat sa opportunity na magpaliwanag.
Gusto ko pong malaman sana, paano ho na-discover yung 600 na health centers po yun, no? Na pinatayo, and then 400 hindi mapakinabangan?
Actually, ang numbers natin, 800 plus na pinondohan since 2021. Opo. Ito yung tinatawag nilang super health centers. Opo. And then, meron kaming nakita na 300 plus na natapos na at hindi pa functional. So, nangyari ito noong panahon ng flood control. Kasi nga alam ko maraming projects as Secretary of Health for the past several years, 2 years, nakita ko maraming mga health centers na pinatatayo sa iba-ibang mga distrito. And alam ko yan, nagkakaproblema, nadidelay. So, nung nagkaroon ng issue sa mga flood control, nag-ghost, natakot ako baka may mga ghost project. So, I monitored them. I monitored them, evaluated them. Lumabas ngayon itong facts that since 2021, ang laki ng pondong nagamit na pala to supply construction of super health centers. Explain ko ano yung super health center. Kasi ang taxonomy or nomenclature namin, lahat nito ay tinatawag naming primary healthcare facility. Primary healthcare facility is a building or a structure kung saan pwede pumunta makakuha ng first contact of care. Sa mga baryo, sa mga barangay, so iba-ibang klase yan. Merong barangay health station, may rural health unit. Sa city, merong health center. At nung panahon ng past administration, na-develop yung nomenclature na super health center. Yung super health center, dinagdagan nila ng laboratory, x-ray, yung iba may birthing, yung iba may dialysis machine. So parang pinalaki na into a polyclinic. So pumondo yan, malalaki yung mga pondo. Nung 2021 nag-umpisa. Nung 2022, umabot na ng 2 billion. Nung 2023, umabot na yata ng 4 na billion.
Total na po yan for 800?
Per year. So,
per year.
So, yung total for 800 is about 12 billion.
Okay.
11 point something billion. Rounded up to about 12 billion. So, sabi ko, nagulat ako. Napalaki. Kasi 12 billion, siguro mga 10 ospital na yun eh. So, sabi ko, laki naman ito. And then, so I started looking and monitoring. Umaandar ba sila? Are they providing primary care? Kasi nga, nung pumasok ako, ang role ko is to implement the Universal Healthcare Act. That is access for all, healthcare for all Filipinos.
And then, sir, what happened next po?
So, na-devolve natin ng healthcare. So, yung mga health center, rural health unit, nabigayan sa municipal mayors.
Opo.
Sila na nagpapatakya ng devolution. Yung hospitals, district hospital, provincial hospital, ipinatakbo sa governor. At yung natira, yung regional hospitals, medical center, natira sa Department of Health.
Na-decentralize po.
Na-decentralized, that was the objective. Decentralization is good in many things. But it didn't work in healthcare. Kasi pag magkaaway si mayor at si governor, dapat connected yan. Yung titinginan ka sa health center, papadala sa ospital, ipadala sa ospital, padadala sa medical center. Kung hindi ka, mayroon siyang hierarchy. Na-break natin yon kasi we gave it to different people. Not only that, yung primary care, when I came in, was basically obliterated. Kasi nga, ang kinabit natin yung health center sa election cycle na every 3 years. Isipin mo yun, Jessica, every 3 years, nagpapalit tayo ng mayor. Kami, nag-i-invest kami, tinetrain namin yung barangay health worker, yung nurse, yung doktor, yung MHO. O tapos, after 3 years, makikita namin bagong doktor, bagong nurse, bagong barangay health worker. Kasi, pinalitan na ng mayor, final niya na yung mga dati.
Walang continuity.
Exactly. So, nawalan continuity. So, pumangit ang primary healthcare natin. And then when they wrote the universal healthcare law, ang keyword sa law nung binabasa ko is integrate the health system, create a healthcare provider network. So they're trying to correct something that was destroyed because of the devolution. So anyway, eto na tayo ngayon. When I came in, I realized wala naman nagpipigil sa Department of Health to go and help communities na mahihirap. Kasi nakalagay din doon sa Universal Healthcare Law, we will support 6th class, 5th class municipality na walang pera to build a local health system. So napanganak niyang bukas, napanganak yung Purok Kalusugan Project ko, which is house to house or purok by purok approach for primary healthcare. And then napunta na tayo dito sa health center. Kasi sabi ko, primary healthcare, asan na yung mga health center na nakita ko, ang dami niyang tinayo. And to my horror, 300 daw yung tapos since 2023. So, 2 or 3 years nang tapos, pero hindi pa gumagana. Then I started going na and monitoring. So sabi ko, dalhin niyo ako sa health center na, sabi, tapos. So napunta kami doon sa Marikina. Yun yung pinuntahan namin sa, something dos, yun? Conception dos. Nagpunta kami sa Conception dos. And to my horror, 18 million na yung nagastos namin, mga poste lang. In fact, mga halaman na. Na front page nga yun eh. Sabi ko, ito hindi to ghost. Kasi may project eh. Manananggal ito. Ito yung manananggal. Yung taas wala. So yun, sabi ko, hindi. It turns out, they said completed project, completed phase 1. Ayun, may konting lokohan sa terminology. Na-sanitize yung report. Sinabi sa akin, completed phase 1. May phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 pa siguro yun. Kasi parang 4-story or 5-story building yung gusto nila itanong. Sabi ko, paano naging 5-story? Ang health center natin, 2 stories lang. So may mga modification. So yan, nagpunta naman ako sa susunod. Sabi ko, hindi, punta tayo sa health center na tapos na talaga, na ready to function. Pumunta naman ako sa Antipolo. Pagdating ko naman doon, tumatakbo na yung health center. Ang report sa akin, 1 year na hindi tumakbo. Kailan tumakbo to? Ay, ngayon lang ho, kasi nalaman namin pupunta kayo. so nilipat nila yung kasi katabi lang yung lumang health center. Katabi nun yung bago, maganda, 2-story. And then, maganda, the people were happy kasi doon sila sa bago tinitingnan. Tapos hinihintay na lang ma-function yung second floor. May laboratory, may x-ray, pero wala pang license. So yung ground floor pa lang. So sabi ko, ito na pala yung solusyon natin eh. Hindi naman ako nagalit sa kanila kasi nga, pina-under nila eh. But, just because the Secretary of Health, akala nga ng mga tao, inauguration daw eh. Kasi dadating ako. But I just wanted to inspect kung ano yung, bakit siya hindi tumatakbo, ano ba ang problema. It turns out, pwede naman palang yung mga nasa lumang health center, yung tao doon lumipat na lang.
So, kino-commission nyo na po ngayon? Yeah. Out of the 800, sabi po nyo,
300 ang tapos.
300 na ang tapos. And commissioned and running na po?
200 ang nagpa-function na. Pas may 100 na tapos but not ready to occupy at not functional.
Magamit lang.
Magamit lang, malagyan ng doktor. Kung doktor ang kulang, baka pwedeng ako mag-supply ng doktor.
Opo.
Meron kaming National Health Workforce Support System. Kami nagdi-deploy sa mga GIDA areas and mga poor municipalities kung di sila makasweldo ng doktor. So, ini-inspect namin one by one, region by region, province by province, kung ano yung mga issues, bakit masyadong delayed. Kasi I'm thinking namin, natapos na, dapat nagpo-provide na ng service. To our horror, 2 years na, hindi pa rin pinatatakbo.
So wala na po kayo dun, Secretary, sa tinatanong nyo pa kung bakit na ipatayo itong mga health center na ito. Wala na ho kayong ganon. Nandyan na yan, parang ganyan
Well, somebody else can ask that question. But ako, my goal is to make the healthcare system function. And if they're there, my question is, bakit hindi nyo ginagamit? Kasi to me, yun ang bigger crime. Natapos, binigay ng national government. Ang sagot sa akin ng iba hindi naman ho namin hiningi yan ibinigay na lang sa amin ng national government. So,
what's your theory? Bakit ho nagkaroon ng ganun karaming health center? Hiningi ho ba yan ng predecessor nyo kaya? Was there a need for that na nakita ng previous administration? Or it's the usual na parang kwento ng mga insertion? Biglang nandyan na lang sila?
Yun ang third. Yung third, I think, is the story.
Yung insertion
because even when I go to the budget to defend the DOH budget, ang process to build health centers is long and tedious. What happens there is the mayors will propose to the DMO, the Development Management Office ng aming regional office na gusto nila ng health center matayo. So yung health center namin pupunta, papadala yun, aaralin yun. May lupa ba? Meron bang ibang health center? Basta they will have requirements. And then pag na-approve na yun, isasubmit yun ng region to the national office sa amin. And then ilalagay namin yun sa budget namin for the following year.
Sa NEP.
Sa National Expenditure Program. So, meron kaming list of health centers na tinatawag namin shovel ready. That means shovel ready is they've looked at the land, public land, they've looked at the structure. Pag natayo, pwede siya, may kalye, whatever, mapupunta ng tao. Pagka yan, nandoon yan sa NEP. Unfortunately, during budget deliberations, meron tayong mga legislators that will ask for their own demands in their districts. So sometimes. So this will now come out in our GAA. Kung minsan na-insert siya without our knowledge. We'll just see them in the GAA. And then that's the only time my personnel will go to these areas. And then may madidiscover dyan, private land pala, hindi pa nadodonate. Kailangan pang mag-donation process. So nadidelay yung project. Meron naman, hindi pwede kasi katabi ng basurahan or hindi siya ideal to build a health center. Kasi alam nga naman, you just build a health center anywhere. It's got to be an ideal location. So meron ganun, hindi pumapasa. So na-modify. So i-request pa yon. May request pa yun. DBM pa nag-a-approve nun para ma-modify yung 20 million or 15 million, ililipat mo dun sa ibang lugar. So nadi-delay. So may mga delays. Meron din naman, nag-umpisa na, napagawa, pero yung contractor hindi niya matapos. Parang tinakbo na yung initial mobilization fund. So dinedemanda namin yon or tineterminate namin yung contract. Pagkatapos mag-hire pa kami ng second, pero napapamahal ang gobyerno.
Kayo po yung tumawag na ito po yung counterpart ng flood control scandal ng DPWH para sa DOH. DOH version ng DPWH flood control scandal. Tama po ba?
That was a side comment during one of the hearings kasi kinu-question ako if I remember right, it was Congressman Chel Jokno was asking about these health centers and sabi ko nga, because at that time, I knew the situation already. Siyempre, I have to defend the health centers that we will propose and I discover there are so many na natapos pero hindi pa functional. So I said, kung ang DPWH may ghost project, yung sa akin ito, health centers na natapos pero hindi umaandar. Hindi siya ghost. Pero hindi ko sinasabing ghost project siya kasi ano siya. Kaya tapos natawag kong manananggal kasi nga yung pala istorya, nakatayo yung paa, walang ulo. So parang manananggal, di ba? Hati. Kasi our problem now, siguro alam mo naman ang complaint ng mga tao, ang hirap ng buhay sa outpatient at emergency ng DOH hospital. Pipila ka ng ilang oras, ang daming pasyente, parang palengke. So that's why I built the Bukas. The Bukas was designed to decongest. Kaya nga yung hospital director din ang pinatakbo ko noon. At happy sila talaga na decongest yung ER.
Oho.
Pero ngayon, nag-zero balance tayo. Ayan na naman, dagsaan na naman by 20% ng patients ko. Kasi nga, preferred na ngayon yung DOH hospital kasi libre. So, I'm trying to get funds now to be pushed naman to help LGU hospitals.
Opo.
Yung mga level 3, level 2. Pero ang key talaga dito, Jessica, mapatakbo natin itong mga super health centers. Kasi imagine, kung may super health center sa lugar mo, mapa-x-ray ka na, mapa-lab ka na, ba't ka pupunta dun sa ospital? Pamasahe, pipila ka dun. Ayun na yung services mo. Tapos uwi ka na uli.
Maganda hong pakinggan na at least may mga plano to solve the problem. Pero hindi ba nanlalaki ulo nyo sa bigat po nito mga problemang kinakaharap nyo? Lalo na given the situation sa public health sector po natin sa Pilipinas.
Alam mo, Jessica, ang career ko kasi is disaster medicine. So, I thrive on problems like this and solving problems like this. So, I look at mga mass casualty, busy emergency departments. I've been in PGH for 40 years before I became Secretary of Health, running the emergency department. I trained doctors, and then now all the DOH hospitals have emergency medicine doctors. Yung bukas nga, yung family medicine program na tinayo namin ni Secretary Ona, yun ang ginamit ko. Sabi ko, alis na kayo dyan sa hospital. Dito kayo sa bukas. Family and community medicine kayo. So, ito yung bukas, nasa community. Happy sila. So, in the bukas, dahil hindi siya siksikan, yung parang fast food siya. Nakangiti yung mga personnel, yung mga nurse, hindi sila harass. Hindi kagaya sa ER. Ba't inunan yun? Kanina pa ako dito, 4 na oras na ako. Namamatay na ho yun eh. Talagang uunahin namin yun. So yun yung mga problems namin sa emergency department. 80% of the people that go to the public hospitals just need outpatient care. Konsulta, laboratorio, at gamot lang kailangan nila. I don't have to do that in the ER. I knew that in PGH. 80% of the people were not emergency. They were symptoms of a failed primary care health system. Now I'm here. I have a chance to fix it. The primary care part, which is what the DOH should help local governments do.
You're still upbeat despite everything that you've seen.
I'm an upbeat person. That's my personality. So, I always look at the positive side of things. Di ba sabi ko sa'yo, disaster medicine ako. The Chinese character for crisis can be looked at twice. One, a crisis is also an opportunity. Yung second character doon. So, this is an opportunity to fix universal health coverage sa Pilipinas. Imagine, Filipinos will finally get the healthcare system they deserve. Tayo ang sikat sa buong mundo. Our doctors, our nurses. Every time I travel, hinihingan ako ng nurse ng ibang country. Naging akong presidente ng World Health Assembly. Binoto ko ng lahat ng health minister. Kasi nga, we have soft power. We produce the best doctors and nurses. Yet we cannot provide the best healthcare in our own country for our own people. Di ba? Paradox yun.
Secretary, aware po ba kayo na online maraming horror stories about what people go through?
Yes.
Pag nagdadala ho sila ng mga pasyente sa ER na punong-puno yung ER, yung doktor, 2 araw nang naka-duty, pati yung nurses.
I'm aware ako dyan.
Tapos minsan naubusan sila ng basic na mga first aid equipment and medicines. Tapos on top of that, kami naman po sa media, dami rin naming nafi-feature na yung mga nasa malalayong mga lugar. Mag-i-improvise pa sila na stretcher, maibaba yung pasyente from the mountains. Ano ho reaction nyo sa ganitong mga kwento?
To tell you frankly, I get 50% positive results like sa mga bukas center, mga naggawa ko ng patient appointment system. Meron ding mga nagpa-positive na natulungan sila. Zero balance. Pasalamat talaga. Ang dami nagte-thank you sa akin. Pero marami pa rin ngayon, even up to today, kagabi lang may nag-message sa akin yung nahirapan sila. I'm able to give them tips. You know why? Some of them use the emergency department as their outpatient clinic. Tinuruan ko yung isa, sabi, meron siyang tinnitus, yung umiikot na nahihilo. At pag nag-vertigo na siya, pupunta na siya sa ER. Sabi ko, naghihingi siyang tulong sa akin na asikasuhin daw siya sa PGH. Sabi ko, hindi. Pumunta ka sa outpatient ng PGH, patingin ka sa ENT, and then they will fix your tinnitus. Patingin ka maraming beses, and the moment magka-attack ka, aasikasuhin ka nila sa ER kasi pasyente ka nila. people don't know that. People want a quick fix. So anong problem natin, Jessica? Health literacy. A lot of our people still do not understand how to navigate in the health system. So this is the next phase of universal healthcare. As I fix the health system and yung demand, yung supply side, the next part is the process. And the process should be getting health navigation.
So parang i-institutionalize niyo po yung triage.
Yes, not only that, navigation. Navigation. Really, triage is for emergency.
Pero so parang ganun din po eh.
It's basically the same. It's prioritizing people that should be seen in the hospital and people that can be taken care of in the primary healthcare or local health system. Opo. 80% of our diseases, ubo, sipon, pagtatain ng bata, pagbabakuna, antenatal care, can be handled in a very good primary healthcare facility.
If we have them.
If you have them, correct. So that's my goal. My goal is to strengthen the health system through a stronger primary healthcare system. Palalakasin po natin yung sistema ng kalusugan, pero ang i-improve ko is primary care, yung unang contact, which is 80% of the problema. Kung maresetahan ka ng doktor, may problema ka, tinnitus, niresetahan ka ng gamot para sa tinnitus mo, hindi mo na kailangan pumunta ng emergency. Hindi mo makipagsiksikan doon. Eh doon yung pupunta doon. Heart attack, stroke, di ba? Nasaksak. Di ba? So, hayaan mo na sila doon. Let the emergency people. So that way, we will have efficient use of our health system. Alam mo kasi, Jessica, so we have not invested in our health system. Sadly, when I look at our health system and the population, we need to triple our hospital beds. You see, 54% of our hospitals are private and another 46% are public. But 80% of the people go to the public hospital and only 20% who are rich go to the private. I'm sure you go to the private hospital. You don't know. Doon walang pila. Doon, pero butas ang bulsa mo.
Yun nga po. Nabasa niyo po ba yung column ni Cito Beltran?
Hindi pa.
Several weeks ago. Sabi niya, parang actually, tayong middle class are the new poor. Kasi it just takes one hospital billing para mahulog tayo sa poverty line.
Correct. So that's, we call that the problem of getting people into poverty, yung tinatawag na inequity ng healthcare. And we're trying to fix that with PhilHealth. Kasi yung middle class, kinakaltasan sweldo nila for PhilHealth. So recently, tinaasan ko na yung mga rates ng benefits. I'm also the chairman of the board of PhilHealth. And we're slowly improving. Yung dialysis, pinataasan ko na. From 2,005 per session, it's now 6,350. So can you imagine, dati, yung mga poor, nagsisiksikan sila sa dialysis center sa public sector. Kasi doon wala nang extra babayaran, konti na lang. Pero sa private, mga 4,000, 5,000. When I raise it to 6,350 per session, wala na. Anywhere the poor goes, kahit sa private, may libreng cookies pa, may pamasahe pa pauwi. So just by increasing the level ng PhilHealth, naayos ko yung sa, and I don't have to build more health dialysis centers kasi sila na nag-expand. Nung tinasan yung rate, the private sector started expanding. Suddenly, there's access for dialysis patients. Tinaasan ko rin yung heart attack from, I think, 75,000, tinaasan ko to 500 plus thousand.
Kasi covered na po ng PhilHealth yung malaking amount.
500,000. So, sabi
pati cancer ho yata covered
pati
na
cancer,
ng PhilHealth.
Tinaasan ko na rin yung mga Z packages. So, we're slowly doing that. The problem is, we can't do it in one go kasi baka ma-abuse naman. So we're doing it very slowly in study namin sa actuarial, and then we're going to change the benefit payment system ng PhilHealth to what we call the disease-related groups. So mas magaganda yung mga billing. And this will help private sector accept even middle class. And then it will not put you to financial ruin. Kasi like ngayon, middle class ka, mag-DOH hospital ka, zero balance billing. Like yung mga patients ko, meron kaming patients, 2 million ang nagastos, zero.
Pero may mga nagsasabi po na hindi daw po totoo yung zero billing.
Kasi nga, pumupunta sila sa LGU Hospital.
So ang dapat pong puntahan?
Department of Health Hospital.
Okay.
Ang directive lang ni President is zero balance billing in basic accommodation. So yung ibang hindi nagsasabing hindi totoo, sabi nila, nag-pay sila eh. Excluded ka sa zero balance pag nag-pay ka.
So anong payo nyo po?
Magpunta kayo sa basic accommodation sa DOH Hospital. At saka nakalagay na, nagpalagay ako ng mga eskaparate dun sa harap ng lobby. So, this is a ZBB hospital.
So, ang hahanapin po nila is a DOH hospital na nakalagay.
ZBB hospital.
Okay, para
pag
zero billing.
Ka doon, wala kang babayaran. ER ka doon, wala kang babayaran.
Pag yung mga primary health clinic, yung mga ganyan.
Run by the local government.
Hindi ho yun.
Depende yan. Kung mayaman yung LGU, libre din lahat. Actually, nauna ang mga LGU eh. Yung mga Bataan, Pampanga, Sultan Kudarat, South Cotabato, matagal nilang silang zero balance pag nagpunta sa public hospital nila.
Parang kailangan nyo po yata ng ng basic public information campaign para po maturuan ng mga kababayan natin which hospitals to go to. Kasi nagkakaroon na ng confusion na pag sinabi mong public hospital, LGU yan, regional yan.
Yun ang masakit di ba?
Oo nga
Pagka Secretary of Health ka, kasalanan mo lahat Kahit kasalanan ng governor, kasalanan ng mayor, kasalanan ko pa rin kasalanan ng health center, kasalanan ko pa rin. So, we run 83 hospitals. And it's in our website. In-announce na namin yan, 83 websites, nagpalagay na ako ng Escapar. Kaya, kung gusto niyo zero balance, sa DOH hospitals tayo pupunta.
Ayun. Pero dapat ho yata merong primer na
At saka huwag kayong magpa-private. Kasi pag sinabi niyo sa private ward ako, inaasahan mo mag-zero, excluded ka na.
Kasi ang heart center may private.
Pag nag-private room ka sa heart center.
Ang PGH din may private ward.
Pag nag-private ka na doon, hindi ka nakasali sa zero. Ang PGH hindi DOH hospital
Ano ho siya?
UP.
Okay.
UP, PGH, hindi siya DOH.
Biro mo, kahit ako hindi ko alam.
So
ano-ano po yung mga DOH? San Lazaro?
Sa Metro Manila, I have 17. San Lazaro, Tondo Medical, Rizal Medical, Quirino, Jose Reyes. Ang isang solusyon pinapabigay ko, change yung name to DOH Jose Reyes. DOH is Avenue.
Tama.
Para maintindihan ng tao, DOH. Ako ginagamit ko na yun when I post the name of the hospital. I say DOH. Para maintindihan ng tao, merong public hospital na run by the LGU. Merong public hospital run by the city. Hospital ng Maynila, hospital ng Makati, hospital ng
doon hindi zero billing, depende sa yaman ng LGU.
Yes.
Okay, naku.
Pero meron tayo dong no balance billing.
Okay.
Nalilituin kita. So dati merong no balance billing. Nung panahon kami ni Secretary Ona, lahat ng mahihirap, if you are in the DSWD targeted system, pag napunta ka sa public hospital, dapat no balance billing ka, PhilHealth lang. Wala kang babayaran. Pero kailangan dadaan ka pa sa social worker. Ika-classify ka. Kung ikaw ay nandoon sa poorest of the poor. Kung nandoon ka, wala ka nang babayaran.
Ayun.
So ngayon, kahit may trabaho ka, hindi ka na rin namin sisingilin. Yun ang binago ni President BBM.
Okay. Parang kailangan lang ho siguro talagang info awareness campaign ng mga kababayan natin.
Nakikita ko naman yan, I see it on social media kasi nga madaming ang nalilito. Akala nga nila, kung minsan, akala nila yung mayor ang nagpapazero. DOH hospital naman yun. Hospital naman namin yun. Hindi yan. Walang binigay ni Cinco yung mayor dyan. Sa amin yan. Ganon.
Pero Secretary, yung mga pumipila po, like dito sa East Ave Medical Center, hospital po ng DOH.
DOH yan, oo.
Ang haba po ng pila, gabi-gabi.
Pero dyan nag-open na rin ako ng bukas na 24 hours. So, ang pila talagang may pila. Even if you go to the UK, even if you go to Canada, they really queue you. When I was training sa US, yung mga Canadians pumupunta sa US, nagbabayad na lang sila. So, ayaw mo may pila, magbayad ka. Pero kung gusto mong libre, I'm sorry, pipila tayo. Kasi limited yung hospitals. So, pipila tayo. At kung emergency ka naman, may emergency department to go to. So, dapat hindi mawala sa concept natin. Yung pila, importante yun for equity. Talagang pipila tayo. Pero libre doon. Zero.
Yung PhilHealth po. Kasi wala pa rin. Pinapasoli na po ni Presidente pero hindi pa ho yata na ibabalik.
Dito sa budget na to. Sa 2026 money yun.
Yung 60 billion.
Yung 60 billion. So parang hiniram yun, ginamit yun. So we will put it back. It will be used for the primary care benefit package. Yung pinalalakas namin with PhilHealth together is the YAKAP program. Yaman ng Kalusugan program. It is putting emphasis on primary care. Kasi Jessica, pagka pumunta ka sa ospital, heart attack ka, siguro hindi ka umiinom ng meds mo for hypertension. Atakihin ka talaga sa puso. Eventually, your heart will fail and get a heart attack. Mas mahal. But if I start paying for your antihypertensive, and that's the gamot package, guaranteed access to medicines for outpatient treatment. It has been proven worldwide na much better, mas lower ang cost ng healthcare. Preventive. In fact, may program kami, yung Healthy Hearts program. It's in the island of Panay. We had the US government, WHO, and the DOH fund it. Bumaba by parang almost 30% yung hospitalization just by supplying the antihypertensive of the patient. So, i-scale na namin yan. Dadali na namin yan sa Northern Luzon, sa Central Luzon, sa parts of Visayas. So, we're scaling it up. Dinadala na rin namin sa iba-ibang lugar. Hopefully, mako-concentrate tayo sa prevention and wellness. Do not forget wellness. Each citizen has their own role to play to be healthy. You should prevent yourself from getting to the hospital. Simple lang yun. Tandaan mo lang yung TED. Pangalan ko. TED.
Ano po?
Tamang pagkain, bawal lang maalat, matataba at matatamis. Ehersisyo para hindi ka maging overweight. 30 minutes every day. Disiplina, bawal ang smoking, vaping, sigarilyo, droga, at saka alcohol.
Okay, yun
O simple lang.
PED, tamang pagkain,
ehersisyo,
avoid asin, asukal, taba.
Oo.
Exercise, ehersisyo, 30 minutes of walking.
Yes.
Tama po. D is disiplina. Yung mga bawal-bawal.
May dadagdag pa ako.
Ano po?
I have 3 more focus on making sure we achieve in this administration. Ito yung 3 pillars ko of public health. Number 1 is health promotion and disease prevention. Health promotion is TED. Diba? If you follow TED, you will promote your health system. Health prevention, bakuna. If we give vaccines to elderly with flu, we will prevent people dying of these vaccine preventable diseases. Binigyan ako ng pera ni BBM dyan. Yung sa cervical cancer, number 1 cancer in women. Binigay niya sa akin. So all 9-year-olds can get actually HPV vaccine. The second is acute care. Ito yung bukas. Yung pag na-emergency ka, may pupuntahan ka. May gagamot ka. So that's my bukas program. That's the super health centers na maging functional. Para pag na-emergency ka, may pupuntahan ka na hindi ka pipila ng isang araw bago matingnan. And third pillar, sabi ko, sino ba nag-aalaga sa ating mga kababayan? Kababaihan. Women's health. My wife takes care of me. My wife takes care of my children. The mothers are the ones na nagdadala sa anak nila para mabakunahan sa health center. Diba? Ang asawa ko, sabi ko, Secretary of Health ka na. Magpa-executive check-up ka. Ako, galit ako sa executive check-up eh. Kasi sabi ko, money making lang yan. Ayun, nagpa-executive check-up ako. Dumami maintenance ko. Pero, na-check up ako, di ba? Tapos, siya din yung nagsasabi, tama na yung kaya mo, mataba ka na. Bawal na yung sugar, bawal na yung Kasi nga, yung metabolic syndrome ko. So, women take care of the family. They're my extension of healthcare system. All the mothers. Pag may sakit ka, kanino ka ba pupunta? Di ba sa nanay mo? Mami, may sakit ako. Kasi mag-aalaga sa'yo. Your first healthcare worker is the mother. But who takes care of the women? Wala. So, our number 1 cancer is breast cancer. And our women have no access to mammography. So, sabi ko, lagyan lahat ng ospital natin ng mammogram. And make sure PhilHealth pays for the yearly mammography. 3 out of 100 Filipino women get breast cancer. We have the highest. And yet, we're putting money on cancer assistance for breast cancer kasi yung stage 4, yun ang pumupunta sa mga kasi ang mamahal ng chemotherapy. Sabi ko, mali yan ah. We should go to screening. Because the whole world screens. 1% lang ang nadidetect nating stage 1, stage 2 breast cancer. Anong kasing health system yan? The world gets 30% of breast cancer at stage 1, stage 2. Layo natin. Bakit? Pag tanong ka, kasi sa private ka lang makakapagpamammogram, 4,000 to 8,000. Ayaw nila. Tapos, masakit pa daw. Kaya hindi sila nagpapamammogram every year. So, that's what cervical cancer is the second cancer in women. Provide cervical cancer screening with colposcopy and meron pa nga AI ngayon colposcopy with AI, malalaman na nila. So if we just make this accessible to women, di na sila magmamarites. Nakikita ko nga yung mga kapitbahay nilang gamot ang hinihingi nila Ano ba iniinom mo, Mari, sa hypertension? Ito, amlodipine, pahingi nga, oh. Yun na lang sinishare.
It's good po na marami kayong plano, naiisip nyo lahat ng ito. But when you go sa malalayo nating mga probinsya or kahit yung mga hindi naman gaano kalayuan, wala pong health center o kung meron man, wala namang gamot.
Yes.
Ni Biogesic daw ho, wala. Oho. I don't know. Ano po masasabi nyo doon?
Well, ako nga gusto ko nga i-renationalize na rin lahat eh. Kasi kung hindi rin mapatakbo ng LGU at walang gamot, sinasabi mo. Sabi ko nga ano ba yan? Pagka pupunta ko sa kahit anong isla sa Pilipinas, pag nagpunta ko sa sari-sari store, may soft drink, may sigarilyo, may alak. Pumunta ako sa health center, paracetamol, wala. Bakuna, wala. Dati meron yan when it was all under the Department of Health. We're at the phase na nag-change tayo ng health system. I'm not gonna say we'll wake up one morning we have a great health system. It will take time to build it. And that's why politically, ito yung isang observation ko, Jessica, and I hope hindi ako ma-misconstrue. I'm not for dynasties, but the truth is, the dynasties, the political dynasties, the ones where the family names are the same, they're the ones with the very good healthcare systems in this country. Because the father will build the hospital, the mother will equip it, the son will hire the doctors, and then hindi na sila matalo-talo. That family name stays.
Kasi nga from womb to tomb,
alaga nila.
It's the patronage politics culture.
Yes.
Which is also not good, di po ba?
Yes, because in some, meron namang yung mga tinatawag nating patronage, pero hindi din maganda yung healthcare. Meron din ganon.
Tsaka parang throwback po yun nung sinaunang panahon pa. Na may yung landlord takes care of the whole
serfdom
community. Yes.
Feudal system. Very feudal system. So in health equity, every Filipino has a right for healthcare. That's stated in our constitution. In the universal healthcare law, we now have access to that. And that's what we're trying to build. Primary healthcare, mapalakas ko yan. Together with family and community medicine, yung may gatekeeper,
Opo.
We can probably do at least better.
You're confident po where things are, that things will improve? Tama po ba?
I'm confident because I have a president who is health conscious, who is, for the first time, I've seen the president na focused on health. We've never had, this is the highest budget we've had ever. I think aabot ng 400 plus billion with the additions. Kasi 320 lang yung NEP namin eh.
Sa DOH, wala hong kurakot?
Ako, mahirap sagutin yan. I cannot say wala. Meron din. So my job is to minimize that and make sure hindi niya ma-affect yung health outcomes. Kasi I'm a doctor. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I will make the health system stronger. I want good governance. I want good transparency. Alam ko yan, for many years, I'm treating patients dying in front of me just because wala sayong access sa gamot, sa diagnostic test. When in fact, now I'm Secretary of Health, I'm looking at all the money. Nakita naman natin, visually, nakita mo, lamesa, puno ng pera. Isang tingin ko lang, ilang ospital mapapatayo ko dyan.
Pero may issue pa rin ho ng expired na medicines, ang DOH. Bakit ho ganon? Yung ibang ospital, health center, walang gamot. Pero
tapos may expired.
Nababalita po sa dyaryo na may mga na-expirean po kayo ng gamot. At mga bakuna to the tune of billions, Secretary.
Correct. And this actually is the next phase of health system strengthening. Kailangan mapalakas mo yung planning and asset management. Kasi nagugulat ako, wala kang health center, walang gamot sa health center. Tapos sa warehouse namin, nag-i-expire yung mga gamot. Something's wrong with our logistics and supply chain management. Apparently, the DOH is weak with supply chain management and logistics. We need to get logistics experts to help the DOH really supply that. As you increase kasi the budget, the absorptive capacity did not increase as much. So, bili lang sila ng bilang gamot. Yung binibili ng last year, yung pala, sobra-sobra na. Sabi ko, huwag kayong bibili kung meron pa kayo nasa stockpile. You don't even know your stockpile. Why will you order the same as last year? Hindi mo naman naubos. Yan ang mga reasoning. So, madami pang room for improvement, Jessica. I cannot solve everything. It's the next health secretary should have less problems than I have. And I hope the next health secretary will have less problems than the next one. So we'll fix it brick by brick, mortar by mortar.
Pero it's good you're very positive about your prospects of improving
Yes.
DOH and the public health sector, Secretary.
Yeah, why wouldn't I be positive? I'm the third highest budget. I now have zero balance billing. I've never seen this during my whole lifetime.
So, Secretary Erbosa, kung ang Pilipinas po o ang Philippine public health sector ay isang pasyente, nasaan po kaya siya? Nasa ward, nasa OR, o nasa ICU? Anong prognosis niyo po?
Hindi, wala na siya sa ward. Discharged na siya. Primary healthcare na ang kailangan ko. I need help. Ang kailangan ko, yung sinasabi ko, tamang pagkain, ehersisyo, vaccine preventable diseases, women's health. All of this we can do on an outpatient. If we take care of Filipinos and if we become all health conscious, our obesity rates are high. Our hypertension rates are high. Our cancer rates are high. We can prevent all of this with good exercise, good diet, good habits. Diba?
How do you address critics po? Like Dr. Liachon?
Well, for the critics, do not disturb the person who's trying to solve the problem. I'm trying to solve the problem. If you have a suggestion that's good, I will follow it. But if you're just going to criticize me without a solution, sorry, I'm busy. I'm trying to solve the healthcare system of this country.
Sorry po ha, pero sabi ho niya dito sa health centers, dapat daw kasi mas naging proactive kayo. Ito pong mga hindi gumaganang super health centers.
You know, it's very easy to be a critic. That's the easiest thing to do. Fixing a system, making it stronger, is the hardest thing to do. So people who are critics, who've never even worked in the health system, who've never become health secretary, probably should start, easy lang kayo. You probably don't know what the hell you're talking about. Meron talagang feasibility study yan. Meron talagang study yung regional office. Ang problema natin, insertion. Dadating na lang nakalagay doon. Health center, so, 10 yan. Wala sa listahan namin. Tapos tsaka pa lang namin bibisitahin. Tsaka pa lang gagawin yung feasibility
Gulatan
study.
yung insertions, Secretary,
Gulatan
diba?
yung insertions. In fact, that's the story of some of the super health centers. Tinatanong ko yung mga mayor. Sasabi ng mayor, hindi naman ho namin ni-request yun eh. Pitatayo na lang dyan yan. So somebody else ordered that to be built there. So binigay lang sa kanila.
As in all the other insertions, nagulat na lang yung mga LGU.
Flood control, gano'n na lang. Oo.
You were saying, Tina?
Yung sa budget nga, Dok, na-intriga lang po, yung flow ng pera, paano po ba siya? Parang kung DOH po ang...
So okay, our budget for health is produced, all the agencies submit every year, sometime January, papasubmitin na kami for 2026, 2025. Last January pa kami nag-prepare. February deadline yan. By March, submit na namin yan sa DBM. Tapos DBM will start cutting. Like yung aming pinopost, parang nasa 800 billion eh. Pero nung lumabas, 250 billion lang. So, 200 and then another 65 billion for PhilHealth yata. So parang 320 yung total nung sa NEP. So, kinakat kami. So, ang nangyayari dyan, yung mga feasibility study na ginawa namin, may malalagay sa Tier 1 at Tier 2. Yung insertion, kung nandun sa Tier 2, at least naaral namin yun. Pero ang problema, may lumalabas na hindi sa Tier 2. They're just talagang bago lang to Hindi pa to nasabi sa amin.
DPWH pong gumawa nitong mga health center na
yung iba.
Hindi naman ni-request ng DOH kasi mga insertion malamang marami dyan.
May ganon, may insertion ng DOH. Meron naman nasa DOH budget pero in-implement, nilipat yung pera sa DP. Meron naman nilipat sa LGU. And then kanya-kanyang ano yan. In fact, meron nga lokohan nga sa amin eh. Pag yung DOH na nag-implement, yung 18 million kasya na sa 2-story. Pag DP noon, magiging phase 1, phase 2 kasi poste lang tapos tatapusin pa.
Ganyan din po yung mga classroom. 3 million daw per classroom ang cost pag DPWH. Pag private sector, 1 million lang yun. Nandyan na po yung mga health center na yan. 800 kanyo, 600 nga lang po unang na-report. Paano ho yun? Hindi nga magamit.
Sino ba accountable? Di ba yung Secretary of Health din?
Oo nga po. Kayo rin ho yun. Paano ho yun?
Kaya nga inaayos ko. No, but there will be people that will be accountable in certain cases. Yung tinakbuhan yung project. Didemanda ko yung contractor noon. Tinakbo yung binayaran siya ng mobilization tapos nawala na. Ayun, dapat kasuhan yon. Tapos yung mga collusion with my own people, mga engineer ko na pinapayad na completed, tapos mababayaran pag inspect mo, hindi pa pala completed.
Yung mga substandard.
Dapat ombudsman yun, yung tao ko na nag-inspect. Kasi that's their job, is to make sure that the government money that is paid to the contractor is talagang dineliver. So we will get that. We will also go there. We will use all efforts of the law.
So same contractors for DPWH.
Yung nilistang top 15,
nasa DOH
meron ding mga ginagawang health center.
din.
Yes.
Oh.
At meron kang isa sa Mindanao na bayaran na, hindi tapos.
Anong contractor po ito? Yung mga Diskaya, meron din po.
St. Gerard. Oh, yun.
St. Gerard.
Gerard.
So they were not only into DPWH projects.
Well, yung iba nun kasi
DPWH naman gumawa ng mga kabuti.
So they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
So they're everywhere doing health centers, flood control, kalye, whatever, bridge.
Sunwest, Zaldico.
Meron din.
So yung mga pinangalanan po ni Presidente na 15 top contractors for DPWH also projects. Built
hospitals, not only, kasi iba malalaki
DOH
hospitals.
projects.
Yes.
Oh.
Ang tingin ko naman, I'm still very happy that the other thing that the people are really looking at now is nagkakaroon na ng global community of how middle-income countries solve health problems. Di ba naging president ako ng World Health Assembly? What I realized in the World Health Assembly, yung WHO meeting of health ministers, 194 health ministers yun. 80% come from low to middle income countries. When I talk to the other countries, Nigeria, Indonesia, Cambodia, they look at our solutions. Sabi nila, pareho problema namin. It looks like your solutions are applicable to us. Kasi before, ang WHO was run by the G20.
Okay.
Yung mayayamang bansa. Sila nagbibigay ng pera, sila donor-driven. But suddenly, US pulled out. So naiba yung flavor ng... And then I'm realizing, yung ginagawa ko sa Pilipinas, interesting dun sa mga Africans, interesting dun sa mga South Pacific Islands, interesting sa Caribbean Islands, because we have the same problems. Nurse migration, lack of health facilities, yung mga poorer, low financing by the government. Yung sin tax natin, kinokopya nila. Yung tobacco and alcohol taxes. Kasi dito lumaki. That's why I'm positive. Because I came at a time when I became undersecretary, 25 billion lang ang DOH. The whole DOH. Today, my budget is 320 billion. Sabi ko, ang laking tulong talaga ng cigarette taxes and tobacco taxes. It quintupled and sixtupled the health budget. And ito rin yung nagagamit sa PhilHealth, sa universal healthcare.
We're setting the template.
Yes,
setting the
I'm setting the template for that.
Thank you, Secretary Erbosa. Maraming salamat po.